him on the brink of a musical pilgrimage that has him walking to New Orleans.
London, the mighty heart of the nation beating still. Who can say what train of circumstance shall wrench these two young men from their ordered course? Who dares guess into what bubbling cauldron of fatty, smelly liquids their lives shall be hurtled? We know that the young man on the left is about unknowingly to tell his companion a dreadful lie. We know that from that moment on he is no longer master of his own destiny, but a toy of the fates, a plaything of the immortals, a fancy piece of the divines, a painted horse slut strumpet of the gods.
So there, Gilson, I'll see you tonight. It's about 7 o'clock in the pub.
Oi! 10 quid for a bit of business in the back of the car. With a rubber.
Well, if that's all right with you.
Hello, young sir. What a joy it is to see a young gentleman like yourself in this part of town. It's a sad state of affairs, some would say, when a young gentleman like yourself's obliged to come out east like this, to mix with those of us who don't even speak the Queen's English, God bless her. Of course, by rights, you shouldn't really be in this street at all. Without my permission, if you get my drift. I bet you're wondering why. I'll tell you why.
Why?
My brother has rearranged all the dog turds in this street in an interesting, articulate and artistic way on account of he's got a grant from the Arts Council. Do you know what I mean?
Lovely.
I hope you haven't been kicking any of the dog's turds about, have you?
No.
Haven't been misarranging them in any kind of way?
No.
That's wonderful. Well, I'll tell you what I'm going to do, because I like your face. Because I like your face and I don't like many, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to give you a ticket to New Orleans. Not Old Orleans, not sideways Orleans, but New Orleans. Hang on, I believe I have something with me. You'll need one of these. A bit of plastic, the only way to get on in America. Look at the president. A ticket to New Orleans will become very handy if you're going to New Orleans as such.
Yes.
A passport, you don't mind being called John Smith for a month or two, of course you don't. And of course we have the little argument rectifier, as we call it.
I'm sorry.
That's the sort of classic accommodation model, and this is what we call the more genteel after-hours number. It's going to be very sunny out there, of course.
Thanks.
So you require a pair of these. Do you have any money about your person as such? What we call in the trade money? Do you have any of that? Folding stuff with a picture of the Queen on it, do you? What a wonderful coincidence. Yes. I hear your mother's dying of cancer.
Well,
I expect she needs this for the operation. Am I right? Am I right? Yes, I've heard it all before, Sonny boy. Yes, well, these seem to be in order. Would you like to see the gateway to the south? And I don't mean Brighton. The gateway to the middle of not old, New Orleans.
Oh, yes, I do.
Well, all we have to do is go down that stair there.
What is that there?
Down that stair there.
So
Down that stair there. Down that stair to happiness. Go down there. And Roberto es tu tío, as they say in Spain, which means Bob is your uncle.
And
Don't drop the gun, they're not cheap. Get down those stairs.
Is this an
The
airport?
stairway to heaven. There you go. Down you go.
Well, let's take me straight
No,
there.
yes, straight there. Little cubby hole down the bottom. Go another one, Terry. All right, Jim.
There's a moon over Bourbon Street tonight. I see faces as they pass beneath the pale lamplight. I've no choice but to follow that call. The bright lights, the people, and the moon and all. I pray every day to be strong, for I know what I do must be wrong. Oh, you'll never see my shade or hear the sound of my feet while there's a moon over Bourbon Street. It was many years ago that I became what I am. I was trapped in this life like an innocent lamb. Now I can never show my face at noon, and you'll only see me walking by the light of the moon. The brim of my hat hides the eye of a beast, of the face of a sinner, but the hands of a priest. Oh, you'll never see my shade or hear the sound of my feet while there's a moon over Bourbon Street. You got 50p? I've got a wife and 4 kids, man. Oi!
Well, I might not be Galileo, but this doesn't look so much like the grand city of jazz. It looks a little bit more like a rotten old sort of flea-ridden carsy of a dump. Ah, now, this evidence leads me to believe at least I have managed to get to America, so I best put my sunglasses on. New Orleans, 300 miles. The whole thing was a rotten swizz. Wait a minute, I'll take this with me as a souvenir. Send it back to somebody as a postcard. Maniac! You're on the wrong side of the road anyway!
This time I'm walking to New Orleans. I'm walking to New Orleans. I'm gonna need to parachute when I get through walking these blues. When I get back to New Orleans, I've got my suitcase in my hand. Now ain't that a shame? I'm leaving here today. Yes, I'm going back home to stay. Yes, I'm walking to New Orleans. You used to be my honey, till you spent all my money. No use for you to cry. I see you by and by. 'Cause I'm walking to New Orleans. I've got no time for talking. I've got to keep on walking. New Orleans is my home. That's the reason why I'm gone. Yes, I'm walking to New Orleans. I'm walking to New Orleans.
Well, obviously it would be fairly stupid to actually walk all the way to New Orleans because we'd only be 50 miles and the film would have been finished. So instead, the sensible thing to do when travelling in America is to hire a car. I've been given this number by some friends in London of a trusty car hire firm. Good morning. And this is the car that I have selected to rent, that these kind purveyors, Rent-A-Wreck, have got for me. First of all, the first thing when renting a car is always to test the suspension. Yeah, seems fairly good. Yeah, and the other thing is, really, I wanted a model with air conditioning, and it's an adjustment, of course, that one can make oneself. Of course, ideally, the sort of car I would like would be a convertible, if you could have a...
No problem. Well, right, so.
Okay, so we've got the old manually assisted roof here. Well, do you take credit cards? Great, there you go. Thanks very much. Well, thanks a lot. You've got my deposit. The old left-hand drive, of course. Right. Thank you. Well, we seem to be more or less set for our journey now. That walking business would have been pretty stupid. Indicators more or less seem to be working. I think it's a sign for us to be on our way. The car seems to be full of petrol. We've got a nice stock as a petrol cap. Well, chucks away on our journey. Action-packed. And off they go.